pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll ask the board members to remain standing and join me in a moment of silence to consider our purpose, please. Please remember the men and women of the American military stationed at home and abroad, serving in the cause of this great country. Thank you. I'll ask the recording secretary to call the roll, please.
Brian Carso.
Brian's going to be a little late.
Sue Casey. Here. Jessica Decker.
Here.
Jack Fisher.
Here.
Sam Lutfi.
Here.
Jack O'Leary.
Jack is away on business.
Zachary Pierce.
Here.
Doug Pike.
Here.
John Robleski.
John is excused as well. Can I have a volunteer to read the outgoing mission statement? Mr. Bell?
Sure. For those of you who don't know, we will have a new mission statement come July 1st, and it's about half the length, so bear with me. The Delaware Valley School District, the educational leader of our community, strives for excellence with dedication to diverse educational opportunities. Students of all ages are challenged to maximize intellectual, emotional, social, and physical potential. Values, knowledge, and skills are nurtured in partnership with the family and community. Learning takes place in a safe and positive environment that respects individual differences. Delaware Valley offers a dynamic core curriculum enhanced by the creative use of technology. Our commitment to lifelong learning promotes success in an ever-changing global society.
Thank you. Item 2 on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Can I have a motion, please? Motion by Chuck Pike, second.
Second.
Second by Pam Lefty. Discussion. I'll make one announcement. I have here a letter from Laverne Roner. She wrote a letter announcing her retirement. It is on the agenda for the board packet, but I just want to enter into the record both this letter and certainly our gratitude to not only her, but as well as our other retirees, but just acknowledge this letter as well in the agenda. So, and certainly her service will be missed, and that's an understatement in that department. So, anyone opposed to adopting the agenda? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Item 3 is presentations. We have 2 presentations tonight, and with that, I'll turn it over to our superintendent of schools, Mr. Bell, to introduce those presentations.
Okay, thank you. It's usually a big deal when you can have teams that are district champions. And in the fall, we had 3 district championship teams, which was an amazing accomplishment. And then in the winter, we repeated it with 3 district championship teams. And tonight, they're here with us. So we'll introduce all 3 teams. We'll start with the ladies. And we'll ask the coach if each coach could just stand up, say a few words. And then if the kids want to introduce themselves and what year they're in, they can do that. So first, we'll turn it over to Coach Z with the girls swimming it out.
Extremely proud of the girls being able to repeat the district title 2 years in a row was something that had been long waiting last year, and then we were able to do it twice in a row. So it's a very, very wonderful thing, and especially in my my last year. So girls, stand up.
Ladies, would you like to introduce yourselves and just tell us what year they're in?
I'm Aspen Nararti and I'm a junior. I'm Rachel Phipps and I'm a junior. I'm Janelle Llewellyn and I'm a senior. I'm Lexi Brandt and I'm a junior. I'm Nana Hudson and I'm a sophomore. I'm Stephanie Marcucci and I'm a senior. I'm Andy Loyal and I'm a freshman.
Thank you very much, ladies. 2 years in a row, that's a great accomplishment. Now, before we turn to the boys, we we have something for Coach C. We have a plaque here to commemorate her years. It says Delaware Valley Girls Swimming and Diving Team, Victoria Zelazny, Coach Z, 1994 to 2015. So, Coach, thank you so much for what you did.
Oh, and I neglected to tell you that the girls broke the district record in the 200 meters.
All right, now we're going to turn our attention to the boys team. We mentioned that Coach Z has been the girls coach since 1994. Now I introduce Coach Joe Kristen, who's been the only boys coach ever. 87 when we built the pool. Joe?
Coach C did mention, she forgot to mention about the medley relay. One other thing, the girls team had a team grade point average this year of 3.492. Was qualified for a bronze scholar team award. So she did also have 3 seniors who were academic All-Americans. Stephanie Marcucci is one. Here tonight, Josette Tormos is another one. Madison Pawlowski. And we had one boy who was an academic All-American, and that was Greg Gilliburn. I was very proud of our guys. This was the first year in a new league this year. The boys came up 1 meet short by 8 points and finished second in the league, but they turned it around in the district meet to win their 3rd district title in a row and their 7th overall. So very proud of them and their accomplishments.
I'm Fox Wilborg, and I'm a junior.
I'm Anthony McNean, and I'm a junior.
I'm Chris Krebsner. I'm a freshman.
I'm Andrew Higgins. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Billy Corner. I'm a sophomore.
Thank you, boys, and congratulations to you as well. And now I'm going to turn it over to Coach Laura from the rest of the team.
Thank you. I'm real proud of these guys this year. I'm real proud of what they did on and off the mat, probably a little bit off the mat. We had a lot of difficult situations to overcome, and these guys as a team overcame them, bonded a lot stronger, and through that, we became 7-time league champs, and we won our 4th out of 5 district titles. On an individual perspective, we had 11 district place winners. We had the district outstanding wrestler in Frankie Carrozza. We had 7 regional qualifiers. I'm sorry. One of those regional qualifiers was Matt Wagner was a regional champ, the 4th one in DB history. Matt Wagner also qualified for states and took 5th place in the state tournament. So again, these guys had a great year, and the way they came together, I haven't seen it since I've been coaching. So I'm real proud of them. Thank you. Stand up, gentlemen.
Matt Wagner, senior.
Sean Jones, junior.
PJ Tessino, senior.
Billy Burns, senior.
Rose Chip, junior.
AJ Siebert, senior.
Mike McKinney, freshman.
Shane Fagan, freshman. John McCarthy, freshman.
Tyler Moraski, junior.
Dominic DiVirgilio, senior.
Frank Rose, senior.
And Chris Duncan, senior. And Chris Duncan up there as well, as well, yes.
Thank you and congratulations to all three teams. And before you leave, don't leave. We have one more presentation, so you get to stick around for that one. They sat for yours, so now you'll sit for theirs. Mrs. Stephanie Cavallero and the art department are here to do a presentation. So, Stephanie, go right ahead.
Thank you. Congratulations, athletes. We also have some great artists back there in that team, and those teams also, I have to say. But I know that I come here every night, or every year anyway, in March, to say pretty much the same thing. But my name is Stephanie Cavallero. I'm the art department for Delaware Valley here, and I brought with me Dr. Irene Lance from the high school, Tara Edmonds from Dingman Middle School, and Tara Gandolfo from Delaware Valley Middle School. So they came to be my comrades tonight, so I appreciate that. But I do want to just say, I say the same thing every year, but March is Youth Art Month, and I was hoping this year I could, bring in spring with you, but it looks like that's not going to be the case. So I'm a little bit too late on that one, but since 1961, March has always been Youth Art Month, and it's been celebrated by the Pennsylvania Council, the Council for Art Education. How else could I say it other than the purpose of it is to just celebrate the arts in our schools, K to 12, and how lucky we are. But as I was coming here tonight, though, I thought of a really great story that I wanted to share with you, and really another way to maybe express our gratitude for the arts and what we have here. But I went to grammar school for 12 years, K through 12, and I didn't have art. Art on our schedule meant take out your crayon books and coloring, and crayons and coloring books on Friday and afternoon, and that was your time to color, and that was your art. And I just felt like I was being scammed. I thought there had to have been something more to that, because I knew that there just had been something more, because my friends in the public school had art classes, but I didn't have art classes. Wasn't until I got my gumption up in 8th grade when I said to my teacher, I said to him, I got the idea, and I said, what if I come up with a lesson this is the truth, what if I come up with a lesson every Friday and tell you the supplies that the class needs, and that would be our lesson. So he was thrilled with that, because he had no idea what to do with art anyway. So that's what I did. And then when I got to the high school, I finally had a real art teacher in my Catholic high school, but it was only taught one period of the day. And I had to give up calculus in order to take art, because calculus was only offered one period of the day. So I forgoed the calculus and went with the art. And I think I made the right decision, because I just have to say I'm just so grateful, because I have to thank all of you, because the opportunities that we are giving our kids that I did not have growing up, and I know that all my Catholic school friends did not have growing up. But here we are, we're able to give those experiences to our kids because of your support, and we're lucky to be in a district that has that. We can offer art to K-12. So I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of my department's heart. We brought with you a set of note cards for each one of you that we would like to celebrate our students with. And each card represents all 11 art teachers. So you have a nice representation from K through 12. And we hope that you're going to enjoy them, get that cards out into the community, and share them, and just keep celebrating with us. So I want to thank you once again. And they're going to help me pass them out. Yes. And we also have a list of art shows coming up, and different things and different highlights that we have going on in the district this year. I know in both middle schools they're going to be celebrating the chalk walks pretty soon in June. And in the high school right now, ongoing, we just opened our show at the Artery Gallery in Milford. And we had about 40 students participating with that Saturday night with their parents and families and friends. So Milford was really bustling, and for that one little bit of time anyway. And we have artwork for sale, and that show is now up until second week in April. So you're welcome to go see that at any time. And also the high school art show is coming up, so we're excited about that. That's April 10th, 11th, to 12th. And we're going to kick that opening off with our senior reception from 5:30 to 6:30 on Friday. We're going to have hopefully some live music from the orchestra and some refreshments. And Mr. Balam is going to pass out some certificates and say a few words to our kids and encourage them. So we invite all of you to all of that, and as well as all the other art shows that are listed. So thank you once again. And I'm short.
I just want to take a minute and thank all of our staff, our coaches here, the art department, the students and their athletes, but particularly the parents who have no doubt play an integral role in the success of the students and our athletes. And everyone has a role in the success of this district each day. So thank you all for coming here. Thank you for what you do. We wish you all the best in the future. And Stephanie, thank you for the great things that your department does. You know, I'm a proud supporter of the arts. You know, my father's calling it a career in April after 30 years at the jail, teaching inmates of commercial arts. So I know what I've been surrounded by my whole life, and now my house that I purchased I'm surrounded by his paintings again. So it's just it's a great thing to see what our students are doing, and I'm glad to see that they're exhibiting in the community too. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And kids, you're free to go now.
Just take the two pictures that
Sure. Sure. You're late. Principal.
No, it's terrible.
I miss you, Vicky. I was waiting for you to sing that German doctor song. I know.
Yes. All right, I'm going to move to item 4 on the agenda, which is the approval of the minutes from the regular board meeting held on February 19, 2015. Can I have a motion? Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Moved by Jack, second by Pam. Discussion. Sue, did you have something to say or no?
We were wondering if Chris was going on the presentations.
I was going to do committees.
Okay, just
Okay, thanks. Discussion on the minutes, corrections, otherwise. All in favor of adopting the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, the motion is adopted. Item 5 is reports. Are there comments on item 5A, administrative reports and the absence enrollment charts? Comments or questions on item 5B, financial reports? I'll move to 5C, which is committees. Batting leadoff will be our student representative. Chris, go for it.
Hello, everyone. In school, in sports, the spring sports season is underway, and the teams are waiting for the snow to clear up off the ground. Hopefully, we don't get too much tomorrow, and they're looking forward to getting out and practicing outside and having hopefully a successful season. In clubs, the DD Wellness Club is holding an indoor triathlon at the high school. It's starting at 8 a.m. on Sunday, and the proceeds from this event will go to benefit the club, which their goal is to promote wellness and a healthy lifestyle throughout the student body. And then in classes, the EP teachers are finishing up the curricula and looking forward to beginning the review for the AP tests, which will take place in May. And one more note is during lunches, we are utilizing the new televisions we have in the lunchrooms to watch the NCAA tournament. So it went really well today. I had to see lunch, so I got to watch a bit of the game and watch my bracket get busted a little bit. So it was a good time. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for Chris? All right, moving to committees. First off, Budget, Finance, and Audit, Jack Fisher.
Budget, Finance, and Audit will be meeting this Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock Tuesday morning for our first series of discussions on the upcoming budget. And I would say this will be the most difficult budget we'll be putting together in the last 15 years since I've been doing this. So if you can make it Tuesday morning, great. If you can, if you have questions, board members, please forward them to me and I'll make sure they get answered. and we begin the process of putting together your annual budget package again like we did last year.
Comments or questions? Moving to education, John Robleski is absent tonight, but I'll ask Dr. Vivas to report on the education committee meeting, which was held last week at 6 p.m. before the regular meeting.
Thank you. We discussed the proposed new textbooks for the coming school year. We looked at a book for Social Studies 7, Introductory Statistics, Electrical Occupations, Algebra 2 and Trig, Video Game Design, and Science 9. Also, an interactive bio course where we looked at an ebook that we'd be utilizing on the iPad, and an adoption for a K-5 reading series. We discussed those books, the need for them, and then I had them on display for the board members to see. And we'll be voting on them in May.
Okay. Comments or questions? Okay. Facilities, Chuck.
Okay, I see on the agenda we have some approvals of Plan Con Part F and Part G. We had a nice presentation last week by the architect. We had a pre-bid meeting yesterday for the gym expansion at the high school, and that bid opening is scheduled for April 7th. And we're still on track for April 15th groundbreaking ceremony for the elementary school. Is that right?
That's the actual day that you're going to start work, we hope. But the groundbreaking ceremony, will be the 25th.
Oh, the 25th, right.
Comments or questions? Okay, health, safety, and wellness, Jack O'Leary is absent tonight. We'll move to negotiations. I will report that the negotiations committee met with the teachers union on March 9th, and negotiations are ongoing pending an agreement. The negotiations committee met with the support staff union at, tonight at 6 p.m. and negotiations are ongoing pending an agreement. Policy.
There are 16 policies on your agenda tonight that are up for review that were all part of concise yet lengthy discussion last week after work session. Just for everyone's edification, there is 2 policies that were just changed for a better read. Those are the first 2 policies called board policy and comprehensive plan slight changes. The mission statement policy was changed to include our new mission statement. The academics policy number 102 along with 103, 104, 105, 105.1, and 200 had no changes. They were just up for review with no changes. Policy 103.1 and non-discrimination qualified students with disability policy had some redundant language on page 6 that was taken out. Eligibility of non-resident students policy 202. That policy makes it very clear to parents now of non-resident students that they are responsible for transportation in a number of places throughout that policy. It also removed the responsibility of the superintendent to report to the board annually the number of non-resident students. We have a new policy 347, which is a return to work policy for employees who are injured and have a workers' comp claim, something we had not had before, and it's a comprehensive read, so I invite people to take a good look at that one. Policy 806 is child abuse. After the solicitor offered his comments last week, we agreed that that policy will be approved as is next month, and that since it only addresses children under the age of 18, students under the age of 18, we will look at adding an additional policy to address child abuse reporting for students age 18 and older. Policy 810, transportation, had a number of changes in it that dealt with some of the frustrations that the district has felt in dealing with transportation issues. So that I invite you to read very closely. 818 is contracted services with lots of new language on background checks for our contractors, whether they have contact with or without students. And then we're rescinding policy 919, district and school report cards, not to be confused with student report cards, but it is report cards that the district produce that they no longer have to because we're doing it in a completely different way now. No one in the last week has told me that they had any changes. So if that doesn't happen between now and next month, and these will be approved at the second meeting in April. It'll stay on the agenda for the second
And the district's already provided a list of the policies that we'll be talking about in the first meeting in April, 6 or 8, much less than 16. That's it. Questions?
All right, thank you, Sid. And I just remembered that at the top, I'm flying without my crib sheet tonight, so at the top of the agenda, I should have announced that the board met in executive session after the last work session to discuss a student issue and a real estate issue. However, I did announce it before we went into executive session at a public meeting, but now we're taken care of from both directions. Liaisons, Colonial IU 20, Pam.
Regarding IU20, there's nothing significant to report, other than we will be voting tonight to provide about $34,000 to the IU administrative budget.
Okay. Then legislative, Pam as well.
This week, our new governor, Tom Wolf, introduced a package of bills that reflect various components of his 2015-2016 state budget plan. On a positive note, he proposed that he would like to give $400 million to public education, to school districts across the state, and $100 million to support special education. So naturally, there's a lot of controversy occurring. This would be a wonderful thing to receive. Part of his proposal involves a detailed synopsis from the school district regarding how they would prioritize those funds if they should come through. So at this point, I'll let Dr. Superintendent Bill give us a little update.
Yeah, out of the blue the other day, I received this email. It was the Dear Superintendent email from the new Acting Secretary of Education. And I'm thinking, what in the world is this? And lo and behold, what it says is, we want to give you all this money. They want to raise income tax and sales tax in order to pay for it, and then hope to reduce property tax. But for all this money we're going to get, we need to write this comprehensive plan of how we will spend the money only in certain 14 categories. We can only spend it in 14 areas, but although they're pretty broad, so it wouldn't be difficult. But it's a voluminous plan that we'll have to present to Harrisburg by May 15th, even though we have no idea if we're getting this money or not, because it's up to negotiations as part of the budget. So we will be dutiful, and we will do this very thick packet that will probably go nowhere, but we'll do it. But it doesn't look like we're getting the money, because the Republicans have said, are you out of your mind? But we'll do it. And but we had no idea this was coming, and all of a sudden they're like, you're going to do this for the new money we promised you when we ran for office. And now, oh yeah, here are the strings attached. So that's the way it usually is with money.
How much is the new money? Did they say?
Our number, do you know what our number was?
If it goes through, I think our number was between the special ed and the basic subsidy was about $950,000 money. Then there's the discussion about the cyber charter schools, possibly reimbursing school districts for some expenses like they used to, or they were going to cap. They come up with an amount of money, I think it was $5,950 or something like that, that they've determined that is really the cost, maximum cost we should be paying. And we're not sure where that's going to go either, because it's all about, where the legislature can take it now. So it's hard to, say what we're gonna probably use our guts when we get to May and June. There is a presentation by PASGO and PASA jointly next week that sometimes provides insight, but I think it's pretty new to the legislators too, so they're kind of digesting everything that was in his budget. So it's a $950, but it could be more under the whole thing if there were the cyber school adjustments also. So.
And have we received any information from the Republican leadership? They countered?
Well, their opening premise is there'll be no new taxes until we resolve PSERS. PSERS is priority one, so if we don't tackle that, nothing new happens. So they're at a stalemate.
For what it's worth, some of the folks that I talked to, by the end of the year, you'll probably see perhaps a package of bills that definitely moves on the funding question. Obviously, if you increase funding in other areas, you lessen the issue with hold harmless, which could take districts from perhaps half of the districts in the state down to in the 20s, potentially 10. See a package of bills on mandates, which are always overburdening school districts. And perhaps in the area of pension, but not necessarily, whether you're addressing both the long-term and the short-term. I mean, that's really the question. Maybe one or the other areas. But for what it's worth, those. So by November, you might see movement in those areas. But there are a number of bills circulating, as there always is every year. So we'll keep watching for those.
Now, either yesterday or the day before, on our daily e-clips that we get from school boards, we still call it e-clips?
Daily edition.
Daily edition is what they call it now. There was a neat link to our website that that the Republicans put together that showed the estimated how much more would people in the community pay in income tax and sales tax minus the reduction in property tax. And actually, our district was one of only 100 out of the 500 that was in the positive. The other 400 districts would all net out a negative. They would pay more in sales and income tax than they would get relief in property taxes. So usually when it harms 400 out of 500 school districts, that's usually a sign that it's DOA. So we'll see. But it was a great website to click in, do your district. You could click another county, compare your district to the county. And when we compared us to the Wayne County schools, we were in the green and they were all in the red. So it was interesting that they had put this up. So it's a good site though.
Also included in the proposed bill is the recommendation of a one-year moratorium on the acceptance of new school projects, which would, halt the reimbursement from PlanCon. Right now, there are about 300 schools who are planning projects, and there's $1.7 billion owed through those projects. So the Pennsylvania School Board Association is asking that school board members contact the governor's office. And I have the telephone number and email if you want it after the meeting. And, of course, they don't support that. And I just wanted to mention that county meetings are beginning on March 27th. I'll be traveling to Jimthorpe, Pennsylvania. We are back to having county meetings more as a cluster, so we'll be represented there for Carbon County, Northampton County, and Pike County. PSBA has given me a title of Assistant Regional Director, and the purpose of that is that we can still commence with setting up our own county meeting here in Pike County. So I was thinking that probably after, we have a busy April, and it would be after the election, so May might be a good time. If the board likes that idea, I'll contact our legislators and set something up for May. So you can let me know if there are any dates that are not good for you. And if you want to see any of the county meetings, you can go on YouTube. PSBA has a site on YouTube, so you could go in and see what's happening at those meetings. And that's it.
Okay, special education, Pam and Jess.
I have nothing to report. I'm sure as we enter the budget process, we'll hear more from special education from Dr. Farrow.
The only thing I would like to see is the $400 million proposal be put towards special education and the 100 put toward general education. So I had to put that in there.
I'll second that.
All right. And item 5D, superintendent's report. Mr. Bell.
Okay, thank you. I'll go quickly. I have 4 quick highlights and then 1 point to ponder. The first thing is that DV alum CJ Palmer, who's from the class of 2012, won the NCAA Division III wrestling title last Saturday night at Hershey in 4 overtimes. He beat the defending national champ in the semifinals and then pulled off a victory in the championship. So NCAA champion, so that's a new feather in our cap for Delaware Valley. I also want to say congratulations to our foreign language department. They were recognized by the Pennsylvania Pennsylvania Schools Modern Language Association has an exemplary program. And Gary Cotronio and the folks in the language department were just tickled pink. They got the word on Tuesday morning. Just before I came here, you'll remember last year we received the Best Communities for Music Education Award for the first time in 2014. Well, we received word about 4 o'clock this afternoon that we're our recipients of that award again this year in 2015. So we're very proud of the music department as well. And then we had something rather unusual happen in the Tri-State Spelling Bee. We've had the Spelling Bee now for probably almost 40 years, and it's Port Jervis, DV Middle, Dingman's Middle, Montague, a couple of the Christian schools, Eldred, and hats off to the kids at DV Middle. A couple of years ago, Dingman's Middle had first and second place. A young lady and a young man went at it neck and neck for round after round after round, and we were so impressed that we had the top 2 kids. Well, this year, DV Middle had the top 3 kids out of the 30 candidates or contestants. So hats off to DV Middle for that. So that's the 4 points. And then the 5th thing I'd like you to ponder is whether we should, since we're going to make the April 9th, and this you can kick it around during other business, but since we're going to make the April 9th work session a voting meeting, we in the district office, we don't need a meeting on April 16th. If you guys are okay with not having a meeting on April 16th. And we can decide what we want to do with policy. We could either do it, before the April 9th meeting, or we could push it off till May, whichever. So I could raise that again under other business, okay?
Everybody can think about it and make a decision. It's fine.
Thank you.
No problem. I just want to report too, I'm thinking about it on Tuesday, April 14th, myself, our superintendent, I believe Pam, and Attorney Zimmerman from Michael Weinstein's office. I'm not sure if Michael will be joining as well, but we'll be attending Spring Legal Roundup at IU 19, which is a program that's put on by the Pennsylvania School Boards Association across the state. I'll be going as staff, because staff attends at least one of them, so that's a convenient location for me in date and time. But it's basically a 3.5-hour program from 1:30 to 4:45. It's extremely thorough. It's prepared by our in-house counsels, and they usually have a co-house or a co-presenter locally. Catherine Fitzpatrick will be presenting at IU 19. Last year they presented with John Howdy as the co-presenter. My guess is that probably he'll present again. He's from Sweet Stevens and Katz, which is one of the big education firms in the state. Very well respected. But there are a number of issues that day. I put it out to the board, invited anybody, because our value pass entitles the board to go free of charge, including Attorney Zimmerman. But a number of issues talked about that day, including teen suicide prevention, background checks, all of that. Basically, it's an update in education law in last year, and education law is an ever-evolving body of law, and there's so much that changes. So it's a very thorough program. Get ready for a good afternoon. Okay, so Michael will be joining, so that's great. So Delaware Valley will be great, good represented there, and it's a good group of folks, and so I'm sure we'll have a good time and learn a lot. Item 6 is the treasurer's report. Can I have a motion to approve item 6A? Moved by Jack Fisher, second. Second by Brian Carson. Discussion. Move to a vote. All in favor of approving item 6A, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. I'm going to ask for a motion to approve items 7A, B, C, and D. Motion, please. Moved by Jack Fisher, second. Second by Chuck Plank. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of approving the aforementioned items, say aye. Aye. That was a lot. I'm going to take Brian, I guess. Is there a second? Oh, I'm sorry. We have everyone. That was a vote. Okay. This is why I have a crib sheet. Okay. That's why everyone spoke at the same time. It makes sense. All right. Item 8. I'm going to ask for a motion to approve item 8A, B, and D. And I'll take the retirements with regret. Motion, please. Moved by Sue Casey. Second. Second by Pam. Discussion.
there's a whole host of retirements on the agenda tonight. I also have a list of everyone who's retiring this year. So some we've approved prior. Laverne Roner, 27 years, food service. Sue Apgar, 29 years in instrumental band and general music. Marianne Connolly from DDES, 26 years. Joe Devine from Shahola, 27 years. Lynn Cavanino, high school fax teacher, 14 years. Marianne Denny from Delaware Elementary, 27 years. Mary Jane Gallardi from high school special ed, 21 years. Pat Catellis from Shahola, 19 years. Wanda Holzer from high school guidance, 25 years. Larry Hudson from high school science, 17 years. Claire Kazmarsik from Dingman's Middle School, 22 years. Vicki Knuth, a reading teacher at Shahola, 30 years. Kim Ladoc, a reading teacher at DVES, 24 years. Cindy Roa from DV Middle School, 29 years. Johnny Revolis from high school special ed, 15 years. Jerry Tallarico from Dingman Delaware Middle School, 27 years. From the support staff, Patty Kiley was a secretary at DDMS, 25 years. Maddie Mabel was an IA, 17 years. And Mary Nugebauer was an IA, 20 years, for a total of 441 years of service. Isn't that incredible? And they'll all be invited to the work session on the 11th, on June 11th, where we'll honor all the retirees.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The motions are adopted. Thank you. Item 9 is items for approval. We'll take these one at a time. Item 9A is the approval of additional volunteers you see as an attachment in your board packet. Motion, please. Moved by Jack Fisher, second. Second by Chuck Pike. Discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Item 9B is the acknowledgement of the completion of the induction process. We have 2 names there. Motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Pam Lumpy, second.
Second.
Second by Sue Casey. Discussion. Do you just want to review for the record what the induction process is? We do this every time, but the brief flip notes there.
The induction process is for all new teachers. They go through training at the beginning of the school year. They work for a mentor. It is for any teacher that is in our employment for a period of 45 days or longer. It is, for the most part, a full-year process. And as I said, a lot of rigorous training, meetings with principals, and this is a requirement for them to get their permanent certification.
All right. All in favor of item 9B, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Item 9C is the approval to extend renew listing agreement MLS number 14-158 with Chant Realtors from April 1st, 2015 through and including September 30th, 2015 for the Biondo property in Milford Township. Motion, please. Moved by Jack Fisher, second.
Second.
Second by Chuck Pike. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of item 9C, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Item 9D is the approval of the new district mission statement effective July 1, 2015. Motion, please. Motion by Brian Carso, second.
Second.
Second by Pam Lutfi. I'll go ahead and read it. Delaware Valley School District, in partnership with our community, stands committed to maximizing student potential and fostering lifelong learning and responsible citizenship. If you knew the amount of work it took to get to that from those meetings, and the majority of the board were sitting in those meetings, and what these words meant and what they connotate and what they denotate and all that stuff, it was an interesting melting pot of individuals that the superintendent put together. But what a great cross-section in the community from pretty much every stakeholder group that you could imagine. And I'm sure come July board meeting, it's going to be hopefully somebody jumping out to read the mission statement, because it's been a little bit slow lately. So
I think it was a lot of hard work, but at the same time, I was impressed by how quickly, it only took 2 meetings, and they really, everybody that was involved really moved right along. And it was nice to see so many community, people who are involved in the community, everybody working together to come up with that. Some parents, there was parent representation, student representation, so it's a really nice, like I said, even though it was hard work, I was impressed by how quickly it got done.
Zach, I wanted just to add to what Jessica said. It was an interesting process, and I think we came up with a good mission statement, and I hope we adopt it tonight because I've already had it tattooed on my back.
Well, I'm gonna miss the old one, because Bill Smith and I sat in a lot of meetings
Yes.
a long time ago and trying to get everything in that mission statement that everybody at the table wanted represented. We're gonna sort of miss the old one.
All right, let's move to a vote. All in favor of adopting the mission statement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Item 9E is the expulsion of student 2014-2015-10008474 through February 27, 2016. Motion, please. Moved by Jack Fisher, second.
Second.
Second by Chuck Pike. There is no public discussion. It is a student issue. We'll move to a vote. All in favor of item 9E, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Item 9F is the approval of the Colonial Intermediate Unit 20 General Operating Budget for 2015-2016, including administrative services, curriculum development services, management services, and instructional material services. Motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Pam, second. Second by Brian. Discussion. We did discuss this at our work session last week. I know Pam just mentioned it tonight. Dr. Brennan, again, is the executive director for Colonial IU 20, of which Delaware Valley School District is a part, does a good job of controlling costs as far as our share of the operating budget, and certainly provides great services and programs for the district and how we utilize them.
I would just add that when Pam mentioned that dollar amount, that is not new money. It was a slight increase this year, but that's not a new addition to the budget.
About an 800 and some dollars.
He's been doing this forever, just a little higher this year.
Yeah, every district shares the operating budget. I mean, when you consider that the IU, obviously, they're members of PSERS just like we are, so they have those similar kind of costs. So you consider that the work that she does is pretty, incredible, and she has a lot more to balance and kind of look at across the spectrum. So, all right, all in favor of item 9F, motion please. Or all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Item 9G is the approval of Form F20. It's a certification in lieu of agency approvals, permits, and service availability letters. Motion, please.
So
Moved by Brian Carson, second.
Second.
Second by Sue Casey. We did have our architect and our construction manager present on these items last week at the work session. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Item 9H is the approval of Plan Con Part F. Attachments. It's an attachment in your board packet. Motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Chuck Pike, second.
Second.
Second by Sue Casey. Discussion. Hearing now, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of item 9H, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Item 9I is the approval of the recommended bidders for the new Delaware Valley Elementary School project and enter into contracts for the base bid and alternates 1, 2, 4, and 5. And you'll see that as attachment. Motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Chuck Pike, second.
Second.
Second by Sue Casey. Discussion. Move to a vote. All in favor of item 9I, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Item 9J is the approval of Form G01, Plan Con Part G, project accounting based on bids. Excuse me. Motion, please. Moved by Jack Fisher, second.
Second.
Second by Chuck Pike. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted. Item 9K is the approval of the recommended bidders for the miscellaneous 2015 capital improvements bid and enter into contracts for the base bid and alternates 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you'll see it as attachment in your packet. Motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Chuck Pike, second.
Second.
Second by Brian Carson. Discussion. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Item 9L is the approval of school hours for 2015-2016 school years, and you'll see them listed. And they're the same. They have not changed. I didn't take a motion, but.
No.
Yeah, motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Brian, second.
Second.
Pam, second by Pam. There's a big advantage to going through this with a pen and checking it off, but I'm just doing it in my head tonight, so. All right, all in favor of adopting the hours, say aye. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't say the change, so go for it.
So do we ever think again this year that it might be time to flip this around? Studies show that it is a good idea for, the older kids to go first and the little kids to go first and the older kids to go later. Did that come up at all? No.
So you're remarkably consistent, that's what I was saying.
No, it's come up probably every 3 years in my 25-year career. And all the issues are, kids already get out of school early to go to athletics, so how much school time will they miss? How much more school time would they miss to leave for athletics? Because you would now compound that. Because you gotta play at a certain time before it gets dark. The other issue is kids that go home to receive their younger brothers and sisters off the bus and watch them until mom and dad get home. And then you also have the kids at work. So it's we've struggled with it. The single greatest thing we can do is get our kids to go to bed a little earlier so that they would at least get more sleep. Even if we can't adjust the time schedule, at least they could get more sleep. So, but yeah, this is a struggle my whole career. If we let them go to school later, that means they'll stay up later. They won't get any more sleep. It may help their clock because they say that it's good to sleep in. But I would bet dollars to donuts they won't get any more hours of sleep. They'll just choose to stay up later and watch the 10:30 tip-off game tonight. Actually, they probably will because they're probably counting on me to call it snow day. But yeah, it's a struggle, but and everywhere, very few places have been able to pull it off. The places that I have seen that have pulled it off are ones that do 3 bus runs, where larger districts where high, middle, and elementary are in 3 different runs, and they've been able to juggle the schedule a little bit and pull it off. But there's no doubt, elementary kids are up and wide-eyed and ready to roll. I remember when my kids were like that, and they're not now, so it's a point well taken.
All right, all in favor of item 9L, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, the motion is adopted. So you'll have to come next year and sit in the audience and raise that same question.
Bill Greenlaw's gonna bring me.
That's right. Join the band of our alumni club that don't usually attend meetings. Bill's gonna be the president. Item 9M is the approval of additional career and technical education occupational advisory committee member, Seedness 1 for automotive. Motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Jack Fisher, second.
Second.
Second by Sue Casey. Discussion. All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, the motion is adopted. Item 9N is a review of board policies. Sue did review those in committee.
If I could add, now that
Sure.
we're not doing the April 16th meeting, we are approving these on April 9th. That means you do not get another opportunity other than to email me that you want changes. So please don't think you're going to come to April 9th and tell me you don't like something. We'll just have to pull it off the agenda. We can't fix it that fast. Thank you.
I would like to say that transportation still unnerves me a little bit. It sounds very strident, and it doesn't sound like this board. So whatever that's worth, we could mellow that language a little. I appreciate it.
I'll take a look at it again.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody's comments on that
Okay.
transportation because I know Chuck had reviewed it quickly and now Jack has comments on it. So there's at least 3 of us that sensed the frustration, the strength in that language. We understand the frustration, but it may not read well in the policy to the general person who's reading.
Any other discussion? All right. Item 10 then is other business. And before I go to the members of the board, I have a letter that I'd like to read into the record. A digital copy has been forwarded to the board secretary. I've decided not to seek re-election, and so I would like to read a letter into the record explaining that decision, and for all those assembled here tonight. So it's an open letter to the Delaware Valley community, and I'll read it now. To whom it may concern, I can remember standing outside the polls in Westfall Township at the age of 11 as the results were posted on the door to the township building. It was a blustery, cold November night. The sun had long since gone down. I remember watching the look come across my mother's face at the end of the night when she saw the results. She beat an incumbent of some 3+ decades by a 3-to-1 margin. I wish I could say that night was my first hook on this great experiment of democratic government our founding fathers endeavored upon. However, I would imagine my love for it runs deeper than that. Both of my grandfathers served as members of Tom Brokawo's greatest generation in World War II. My paternal grandfather, Edwin Pierce, spent nearly 2 years as a prisoner of war in World War II in Stalag 17, infamously depicted by Hollywood in a 1953 film starring Billy Wilder. My grandfather would survive his ordeal, return home, and spend the next 31 years as a Pennsylvania State Trooper. He retired early, and he, along with my grandmother, would spend much of the rest of their lives searching for information about the fate of their firstborn son, United States Air Force Chief Master Sergeant Edwin Jack Pierce, who was shot down over Laos on March 29th, 1972. My grandfather would become the Northeast Coordinator for the National League of Families of POWs and MIAs. I've worn a bracelet on my arm with my uncle's rank, name, and date since and the date he was shot down since I was a kid. I never take it off. His wife, my paternal grandmother, Rosemary Pierce, stood alongside my grandfather as they devoted what couples typically call their golden years to fight for any information about the fate of their firstborn son, my Uncle Jack. When most people their age normally would have spent their time in quiet retirement, meeting for lunches with old friends, or quietly enjoying a cup of coffee with the morning newspaper, my grandparents wrote letters and made phone calls to anyone who would listen, to anyone who might take up the cause of POWs and MIAs. My maternal grandfather, Ray Lyon, a 1940 graduate of the old Matamore School, served in World War II as a medic, first in England, then following the Allies as they advanced into France. His wife, my maternal grandmother, Caroline, worked hard to raise their family and simply get by. My grandparents are the quintessence of the greatest generation, and I am forever blessed for the lessons they taught me and continue to teach me. The service to Delaware Valley School Board has been one I'll never forget. It's been an honor to serve a district I graduated from in 2008. The district has accomplished a great deal in the last 4 years. No one person can take all the credit because, frankly, it takes all segments of the staff, along with clearly defined goals from the board, to keep moving the district forward and to increase the value we offer the students of the district. We must be careful never to settle for the accomplishments of today without regard to the consideration of the potential achievements of tomorrow. Nevertheless, it is okay to stop and celebrate the tremendous things our students do because, frankly, they are incredible and seemingly push the envelope higher and higher with each graduating class. I know this does not happen in a vacuum, and I sincerely thank the administration, the staff, and the families who continue to make the Delaware Valley School District the envy of others. To Superintendent Bell, I say thank you. I knew you would be an ideal fit for running for this district. Your calm demeanor and earnest attempts at humor have been, at times, very helpful. I know you're committed to moving this district forward. My hope is that future boards will recognize the success you have had in doing so, in addition to the support you enjoy both inside and outside the organization. Both this fact, in addition to the integrity with which you engage the board, has been a welcome departure from your predecessor's tenure. To my colleagues, past and present, I say thank you for all you have taught me. It's been an honor to work with a great group of individuals who mirror my commitment to this district. To the dedicated staff of this district, I say keep doing what you're doing on behalf of the students. Your vigor, enthusiasm, and professionalism are at the core of the success of this district. To the public, I say thank you for the opportunity to serve you. It's been a sincere honor. Finally, I would say thank you to my family, particularly my two parents who have always been supportive of me in whatever pursuits I endeavored upon. I'm truly blessed to have had such an incredible base of support throughout my life. For this, I'll forever be grateful. I only wish everyone could be so lucky. In George Washington's farewell address in 1796, when he decided not to seek a third term to the presidency, he famously warned the public about the rise of factions. I'm going to emulate him now and warn against the same factions for the future of this board. Shortly after I was sworn in, I realized that I would not be able to please everyone. However, I believed then, as I do now, that if I did what I believed was right, people would respect me, even if they did not always agree with me. After all, this republic was founded upon the ideals of free speech and spirited debate. I leave this board at the end of my term in November to pursue other callings of a deeply personal matter, but which I'm extremely excited about. In addition, I'll continue to serve the members of this board as their member engagement coordinator, working for the Pennsylvania School Boards Association, which has committed itself to furthering the highest ideals of local lay leadership of school board members. I'm incredibly honored to work on behalf of such a marvelous cause every day. Thank you for this opportunity to serve. I'll leave you with a guiding leadership quote I've come back to both on this board and in my own life. It's something Theodore Roosevelt once said. In any moment of decision, the best thing you could do is the right thing, the next best thing is the wrong thing, and the worst thing you can do is nothing. I'm proud to have done something and to have served the Delaware Valley School District community these past 4 years. Thank you. Any other items of other business from the board? Members of the public? All right. Then I will move to announcements. Actually, before I do that, I just want to make sure the board's okay with canceling the April 16th meeting.
Will the 9th be at Shaw or back to the district office?
District office.
Yeah, why don't we go to the district office?
That's what it's advertised for.
I voted for Shahola, just saying. I think we skipped the last Shahola meeting too in November, so I think it'd be nice to get up to Shahola.
And the other thing is, on another topic, we need to talk about how much we go to Digman's and Shahola because the quality of the video stinks when we're in the cafeterias. And now that we're filming these and putting these on the website, it is an advantage to our community because nobody comes to our meetings, but at least they can check the archives. So that I want you all to ponder that as we think about the calendar for next year, because I'm going to recommend that we only go to Digman's and Shahola twice a year instead of 3 times, just so we can have more higher quality video. Because hopefully more people are watching it that are coming here. No offense to the 4 of you that are here, but
So are you moving to Shahola or?
I'd like to stay to the district office.
Okay.
I'd like to go to Shahola, sorry.
I think since we canceled the last one.
we did miss the last one because was that the Act 34 meeting or something?
All right, Shahola it is. All right, so March 24th, I will move to announcements then. March 24th, 2015, there's a BFA meeting at 8 a.m. in the Delaware Valley Administrative Offices. April 7th, there's also a BFA meeting at 8 a.m., also in the administrative offices. April 9th, there will be a regular board meeting at 7 p.m., and this time in the Shahola Elementary School cafeteria. There was no meeting on April 16th. And on April 28th, there was a BFA meeting at 8 a.m., also in the, not also in Shahola, but also in the administrative offices. I believe we have a need for an executive session, so I will take a motion to move into executive session for negotiations. We will not be returning. Moved by Jack Fisher, second.
Second.
Second by Chuck. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.